Welcome everyone. I am the End of Days 33 and we are about to review LFG Season 3 Episode 4. Can't wait, I've been liking the series so far. Here are some of the matchups that's going to happen on this particular episode. We have Nikkita Lyons versus Bayley Humphrey. We also going to have Tate Wilder versus Chris Island. And the main event of the episode will be Zena versus Chantel Monroe. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, Nikkita Lyons and Bayley Humphrey is going to start off the show. Basically was given a little bit more backstory to Nikkita Lyons. Like, I'm really familiar with Nikkita Lyons because I watch NXT and Evolve, so I won't rehash it here too much and everything, but just basically showing that her progression, Booker T believes she's the most talented person that they have at LFG right now. And I'm gonna have to agree because I think the only reason why she was there was because of her injuries. Now she's gonna be putting on a match with Bayley Humphrey. Now for me, I've never, like I said in previous videos, I've never watched LFG before. I know who Bayley Humphries is. Like I know who she is by seeing her, but I've never seen her actually wrestle before. So this will be my first time seeing her. Booker T basically was talking about how Nikkita Lyons, because she is the vet, and then she's gonna have to be the ring general. So they put on their match and everything. I actually thought it was a really good match. I believe Nikkita was working heel and Humphrey's working babyface, I believe. And Nikkita, they put in a really good match. Like, I was really impressed with Bayley Humphrey. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know she can do the stuff she could do. I think she even did like a standing moonsault at one point. I was like, what is going on? But she's a powerhouse. But like they also said too, Nikkita Lyons is also a powerhouse because just of her size. She's like, compared to most of the women at the like just in WWE in general, she's very tall compared to like the rest of them, like a Roxanne or Alexa Bliss. Like, she's way taller than that. So in and of herself, she's a powerhouse. I thought it was a good match. It wasn't that long. The offense, I thought the selling was good. But like I said, for me, I know what Nikkita Lyons could do. Humphries was the one that kind of impressed me because I'm like, okay, for a powerhouse, she could do some moves. I thought she sold well. But like I said, the match wasn't that long. Anyway, they go to the back. They get some praise and everything. They were like, yeah, their match was pretty good. Bloom, or Matt Bloom, Coach Bloom, basically was telling them like some things that they need to do better. But overall, they had a good match. It was like nothing really wrong with it at all. And like I said in previous videos, from now on going forward, since I know some of the fates of some of the wrestlers, I'm not going to say that on these streams or these videos. I'm going to wait and do a video at the end of the season and do kind of like a where are they now type deal. So that's why. So if you watch Evolve, you watch NXT, you might know the answer to some of this stuff. If not, then you're gonna have to wait to the end of the season. All right, next match. Okay, next match is going to be between Tate Wilder and Chris Island. The person that's going to be producing this match this time, or a coach, will be Terry Taylor, who I remember as the Red Rooster back when I was a kid. I didn't know until like I got older, like that he was that guy. He was that guy in the 80s. I just remember as the Red Rooster. I was like, oh yeah, I remember him, and blah blah. Like till I got back into wrestling seriously, like probably like 10 or 15 years ago. I was like, what? He was that good? He was like that? So anyway, he's gonna be producing the match. He had Tate Wilder and Chris Humphries watch Hogan's and The Rock's match for storytelling purposes. Show like how to like tell a story in the ring. They watched that. Before all that happened though, at the very beginning of the show, we did have a look at the personal life of Tate Wilder. Like, I didn't realize he had a wife and a kid, like a small kid too. He's fixing his bike and everything. He said he found out that his wife was pregnant during a taping. Like, he was at TV, and called up. He said, I can't talk right now. So that was actually kind of a cool little backstory that I did not know about Tate Wilder. So he's a family man and everything, and he still got that Daredevil stuff. Like, that's the real thing. I think last week we saw some photos of him when he was a kid doing extreme sports and stuff like that. So now so his motivation is more like, okay, it's not just him anymore. He's got to think about providing for the family that he has now. And Cam, he kind of messed up his promo on the last episode 3. So they actually told him to take a couple of weeks off of LFG and everything. So he knows at any point he's got to stay on point, because at any point you don't know what can happen. So that's just a little bit backstory that I thought was kind of cool. Anyway, they have this. They're gonna have their match. They had some coaching beforehand. They really want to see more with Chris Island. They said he's basically the same guy, but he's more worried about his wardrobe. I guess the gimmick with him. Well, I don't even know if it's a gimmick, but I guess every time he comes out, he has different gear on all the time. But they're saying, yeah, we just want to see something with him. So watching the match and everything, Tate Wilder, Chris Island. This is my first time, I think it might be my first time watching Chris Island. Not sure if I saw him on Evolve. I don't know if he's been on Evolve or not. Not sure, but I do know the name. They had a match. I thought the wrestling aspect of the match was pretty good. But what I didn't get was, I think, it's just my opinion, I think Chris Island was doing a little bit too much. He was doing that 80s type yelling, like, but I was like, now to me, starting off the match like that, I'm like, why? Like, if you get later on the match and everything after you've been through a war, then you want to do all that stuff, okay, cool. Because I actually like when Roman Reigns actually talks his stuff during a match and everything. But to me, you got to kind of have to earn that, not right from the get-go. But like I said, the actual wrestling itself was fine. Some of the critiques were like, at the end of the match, was basically that Island, he's doing these moves, but he's not trying to get the pin. So it's like, okay, you do a big move. Why do you do the move? You do the move so you could win the match and everything, but then you don't even try to cover him. So then it's like you take the people out of it. I'm like, all right. That was actually a good observation by Tate, because I was feeling that, but I didn't know how to explain it. I'm like, all right, you just did this big like body slam or whatever. I'm like, but that's it? You're not even going to try to pin him after it? So I thought the critique was fair. I think Tate Wilder, he did his thing. Chris Island, like I said, it was just more of the I think for him, it wasn't the wrestling, with the character work for me. It just seemed like something was just, it wasn't clicking. It wasn't clicking for me personally, but to each their own. At the end of the day, I don't know. Well, no, I'm not gonna say anything, because I know a little bit more than what the show states and everything. But anyway, let's go to our main event of the evening, which was all right. The main event of the evening was Zena Sterling versus Chantel Monroe. This one, Bubba was in charge of this one. So, like, I've seen Zena Sterling on Evolve, not a whole lot and everything. And I guess she really likes Bubba as being her coach. Chantel Monroe came out, and they were just kind of going over stuff that they were going to do during the match. I'm not going to tell you what that was here, so that way when I go over the match, it was actually pretty cool. But they had a little spot that they kind of knew that they were going to do going in, and Bubba kind of tweaked it just a little bit. But their match, I thought, was really good. Like, I actually like Zena Sterling. I do know a little bit of her future and everything. Her main thing, they were saying she's the same Zena Sterling, basically. Almost kind of the same thing with Chris Island. And she's still fairly new to the business and everything. But her and Chantel, they're the main event, so they're over there in the NXT arena, or the main PC stage, I guess. They had their match, and I thought the match was excellent. To me, I thought it was excellent. But I'm not, like, an actual wrestler. I'm just a fan, so I'm watching it from a fan's perspective. I thought it was good. I thought they told a really good story. And one of the critiques, well, before I get to critiques, they did do this one spot and everything, where somewhere toward the end of the match, before the Chantel Monroe was the heel, and Zena was working babyface. For the comeback, she had Zena like kind of on the ground, and then she slapped the taste out of her mouth. She said something like, "You Barbie bitch," and like slapped the hell out of her. And that's when Zena kind of made her comeback. She kind of hulked up and everything, and that was her comeback. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. And the whole crowd was like, "Oh," when she said it. So it was a really cool spot. That was actually Chantel Monroe's idea, and she didn't know if it was gonna fly. Bubba kind of just tweaked it a little bit or whatever, like maybe the actual verbiage and everything. But at first she thought she was going to get shot down with the idea. But it's like, hey, you got to try some stuff because you're telling a story. So sometimes, like she said, it's not about the flips and blah, blah, blah. It's about the storytelling. So I'm like, that was actually pretty good. I thought they showed a great match. Zena hulking up, to me, I thought she looked aggressive, but that was actually one of the critiques. They were saying that she had it, but they just needed more of it and everything. And what I think, me personally, what I think it is, I think it's her look. Because when she got aggressive, like you could see it in her face, but I think like the whole outfit, the aesthetic makes it seem like, oh, she's not as aggressive because she's got the skirt on and everything. I don't know. I think that was what made it not look as aggressive as it really was, because her face, I think the face had it. I think the outfit made it seem like it wasn't like she wasn't like an aggressive person. That's all. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion from watching the show. That's what I was getting out of it. But overall, they liked the match. They were like, okay, yeah, this is what you need to do. You just need to work on it, and that's the whole point of LFG. It's like, okay, you're not gonna be at 100 like all the time. So you take the criticism and then you do something with it. You try to change. You try to get better. So that's what it's for and everything. So, yeah, overall, this was a good show. And I'm not sure if I went over the winners, so we're going to do that right now. All right, the winner of the matches are, the first match, the winner was Bayley Humphrey over Nikkita Lyons. The second match was Tate Wilder going over Chris Island. Third match was Chantel Monroe prevailing over Zena Sterling. So those are the winners of the matches, because I can't remember. I think I glossed over it. Like the winners, I would just talk about more of the matches. A little bit more about the Zena Sterling match. Bubba Ray really liked Chantel's like swagger and everything. He's like, you could tell she definitely got the swagger down. So that was a good thing. I forgot to kind of mention that. Chantel, like if you watch the PUWF wrestling on YouTube, the panel live Thursday nights on YouTube, Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a cheap plug. I'm actually one of the members of the panel, and we're always saying Chantel Monroe could be the Evolve Women's Champion. But for those of you who might not know and everything, because LFG was filmed a little bit ago, like I said, I try to avoid some of the sports, but right now she's currently injured. I don't know like when she'll be back at all, or she could be healthy right now. I'm not sure. She had like a leg injury, so so hopefully everything's going well with that and stuff. So anyway, that's it for the review today. Hopefully I kept it down a lot short. I'm trying to make these a little bit more condensed and everything. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'm enjoying LFG. I like the behind the scenes stuff. They don't show too much behind the scenes stuff, which I like to just give you a little taste so you don't see how the sausage is made. But yeah, if you like LFG, I highly suggest you watch Evolve. That's free on Tubi's Wednesday nights. And watch NXT, because some of these guys are on NXT. That's Tuesday nights on the CW. You can always watch it. If you can't have access to the CW network, you can watch it for free the next day on YouTube, a condensed version without commercials, or you can watch it on the CW app, which is free. So that's it for me, everyone. Don't forget to follow me. I go live Monday through Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on EOD 33 Wrestling Hub, my YouTube channel, and on Twitch. Mondays, Monday Night Raw. Tuesdays, NXT. Wednesdays is Evolve. And on Saturdays, most Saturdays, we go live with AAA at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till next time, everyone, I hope you all have a good day, good night, and a pleasant tomorrow. Make sure you stay kind to one another. Make sure you wash your hands. But like I always say, you should have been doing all those things anyway. I am the End of Days 33, and I am out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, everyone.